Hey,
Hey Jude.
hey, have a have a great day. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me tell you, one of the things that happened. I was, like I mentioned, we had gone to we're going to San Antonio. We got in San Antonio, and the kids they left the tablet at the hotel. So, uh, so we were going crazy looking for it throughout in the car and everything else. Could not find the damn tablet. And it's one of these rinky-dink little tablets. The kinds that kids use. Este, but it's one that the kids use. So the hotel calls me. I called the hotel last night and I let them know that we might have left a tablet in the room. Sure enough, they called me back this morning. They said, "Hey, we got your tablet," and we're like, "Oh, well, can y'all mail it to us?" And they said, "Yeah, just send us a label." And I've never done that before. So I tried to get on UPS, and it costs more to send that damn little tablet than what the tablet actually cost. It's like 50 bucks to ship a small little tablet like this from San Antonio to Brownsville. That's crazy. 50 bucks. So I sent a text message uh, to Marisa and said maybe they provide that service because she works. I think she either works or owns our local UPS store. They don't provide that service anymore. So the girl I talked to, Kathy, said, "Hey, just send USPS, United States Postal Service. They're cheaper, and it's just a damn tablet." So I'm going to figure out a way how to do that. Have you ever done that, Kathy?
Yes, but I do it from my office. So I don't have a problem because we have States Postal Service account. So we can just, oh, send them the label and then they just mail it. It's not, I guess to us, it's not as expensive, but it is an expensive item to use.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't get it, but so I'm going
Well,
to.
that's the in thing now. I guess that's the in thing, send the label. That's what they do because they won't pay for it because they know it's expensive.
Yeah, and at first I was going like put a couple stamps on it, and just send it. It doesn't work that way.
No,
Have you
no,
been,
they're
Kathy?
going into a different. I've been okay. How about yourself?
Good. How is Colorado? How was Colorado?
It's beautiful. Weather's
Oh,
just beautiful. Well, if you like the winter, you like the cold weather.
you're back already, right?
Yeah.
Did you smoke pot?
No,
No.
no, no, no. But you get to us. It's the scent, the smell is out there when you walk
I,
around. Like when you go to California. When you go to California, every corner, every area, I mean, you walk into the store at 6 in the morning and you already smelling the damn
well,
pot.
I went to San Francisco and it smelled like piss and poop
It's
because it's
become
all.
such a dirty city. It's so sad. But then again, look who's running the state of California. Look at the people that are running the state itself. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
afraid of for Texas because they're bleeding, they're coming in, they're wanting to mess up our state.
No, and it's beautiful. San Francisco is beautiful. Smells like piss and poop. and a lot of homeless and a lot
It's
of people
very
doing
dirty.
drugs. It's crazy. And anyone, it's kind of trippy because I think that's something that you mentioned. A lot of people from here will go like, "Oh, California, California," because it's a place to go. And I think it's a lot of people that have never been to California, that don't realize what a crappy place it is. It's crappy
You,
and
you
snowflake.
know, I visited California several times. And Pat, like about 15 years ago, California is not what it was 15 years ago. It's deteriorated. As a state, it's not the state that it used to be. It's just it's sad. It's depressing to see. If any of you knew California what it was 15, 20 years ago versus what it's now, it's depressing to see what it's become.
It's horrible. And let me say, I think that's one of the issues that a lot of folks here have locally. And I try to tell people, guys, you need to get out of the rancho. El problema with a lot of people in Brownsville tienen la mentalidad de rancho, like, no, outside of Brownsville, there's nothing. It's a huge world out there. And let me tell you, one of the things, and one of the things that I mentioned to folks, I mean, y'all have followed me as I go to different places, travel. Guys, I've been to socialist countries. I've been to communist countries. I've been to Cuba. I've been to Colombia. I've been to Peru. I've been, and these countries are barely coming into capitalist democratic type of system. Let me tell you guys, we do not want to become a Cuba. We do not want to become an Ecuador. Uh, do not want to take those steps, and definitely don't want to become a California. And
You know
that
that.
is
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. You know that you visited all these states like you say, but even Pitbull has been interviewed. Pitbull has stated that that would be the worst thing that could happen if people don't realize that if we accept socialism, if we accept communism, it's not good for our country to to be in that situation. We need to open up our eyes. We need to realize what's really happening around us.
gotcha. Well, look at Florida. I mean, Florida is conservative uh, because of all the Hispanics there. All the Cubans, and it's not only it's not only Cubans. A lot of people from Venezuela and Colombia, they land in Florida because it's just an easier flight. I learned that when I went to Colombia. One of the trips I did to Colombia, can't remember, but a lot of individuals there because of the Hispanics is the reason why Florida is very very red, very very conservative, because they do not want their state to go back to become where they escaped from, where they left, where they definitely do not want to return. The only reason that they want to return is if they go back for to visit family or stuff, but not even a lot of people, not even then, because they're afraid. A lot of them are afraid for their lives. A lot of them are scared about for retaliation for them to their families, and plus it's such just crappy places to live. That's what socialism is. And again, guys, until you visit these places, you find out. I mean, Cuba is beautiful, beautiful, and I hope to go again early next year. Cuba is beautiful. It's the people living in horrible poverty. It's not a great thing, and unfortunately, we can relate because a lot of our folks here locally they live in horrible poverty. Uh, Part of the problem is that the individuals that have been elected to represent this community as a whole, they don't care. They don't care as long as they continue to become rich themselves. They're okay. One of the things that we shared yesterday was how talking about a fear of retaliation. Kati, I posted a letter that was coming that came in from PUB. How all this corruption goes on at PUB and individuals there. I mean, I don't know if you saw it right as I posted it. People say, please do not disclose who we are because we are afraid for our lives. And people may go like, "No, hombre, están exagerando." It's exaggerated. And no, guys, you're talking about millions and millions and millions of dollars. You're talking about cartel involvement. And it was something that was going on at BISD. Sylvia, Prissy, and Drew, and Minerva por idiota, por la estúpida que es. they were all, fooled into that cartel little thing. And again, guys, take it for what it's worth. Anyone who's to this day doesn't believe, guys, that there's cartel involvement at BISD, you don't know exactly where you live. But we don't want to go down that road. So people at PUB, I don't know if you saw the post, they started desglosar and say, guys, we're concerned about our life, despite concerned about our economic well-being, because the economic, financial people there that are controlling the retirement funds for the PUB employees, Kathy, are the Limas, the same people that have helped Trey Mendez and all these other people make money.
Well, you see, it's unbelievable how it's like a, what do they call those dreadlocks? Like the ones that are intertwined so well braided into
La
it. Like
mafia,
they're literally all braided, like so tight.
la
Um,
mafia.
yeah, that's how I see it. And if you see where the Tanasca property was purchased, there's over 100 acres that was purchased, if I'm not mistaken, on each track that they purchased for Tanasca. It's like an area where it's close by, so people could develop that area with future residential or commercial sites. Because in actuality, that is how it was purchased. You know, it says there the who they purchased the land from as well. The how it was deeded from one person to the other, and to Tanasca. And I looked at the names and I said, oh, it makes sense. It's a connection. And that's how they become wealthier off of us, off of the people that are working hard, trying to make ends meet, trying to make sure that we can do what's best for our families and for us to be able to retire with a stable financial, you know, fund. But it's just such a shame because, like you said, it's the Limas, it's the elected officials, and it's just the same group versus people electing. Just elect a regular citizen that works hard for you, that understands, that's been in the trenches, that truly believes in serving their community. Brownsville's been served by too long a clique, a group. And they look for people. Oh, would you like to run? And people that run don't even know what they're getting into, and at the end, they're manipulating them. They're somebody's puppet. They can't speak on their own behalf.
Uh, when does it stop? Good morning. There's a
Good
question
morning.
I want you to address, Kathy. City, how can we contact you if we have real estate questions? I'm investigating why Dean Porter Park is registered online as BIZ property on all county websites. City has no records to prove ownership.
On that, we would have to do a title search, because through the title search, we go back years as to who was the original owner and then how it transferred to the actual ownership that it's recorded on. So it would need to be title search. And many times all we need to do is go to the county, and we can sit there and open up the files, the volumes of where they were recorded, when it was recorded, and at the same time, that's how we can get the title of ownership from prior ownership. That's why when anybody's going to sell a property, you go through the title company, and the title company opens title to see who's had prior ownership.
Yeah, and here, I did see the I see us. Kathy and I were sharing some information. She was sharing some information with me yesterday. Kathy, again, I'm going to do the Maggie thing. Um, Explain that to me as if I was an eighth grader.
Okay, so on 511, we know that 511 is industrial and it's residential. Some parts are residential and a lot of them are industrial. Let's, if everybody can focus on where 511 is, 511 is where that um, overpass and Paredes line goes through, because Paredes leads from Brownsville into Los Fresnos. So then on there on Paredes, you already have Los Fresnos schools already built on 511. And then you have the power plant that PUB just built to be able to service. And you'll see a PUB power plant out there. Um, it's on 511. So right next to that, you have tracts of land, and those tracts of land are almost connected to each other so they can provide the infrastructure, the services. So you have Tanasca that purchased, and I have it on my laptop, and I think I sent you some screenshots last night, Erasmo, as well,
Yeah.
where it indicates how many tracks. And then you have in those tracks, you have multiple ownership that owns 411 acres right between PUB power plant, Tanasca, and then like four different owners for 411 acres. Those four different owners, you have um, your local law firm that's registered as the owner, and then you have also, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was Galansky. So you have those 411 acres connected near right between PUB and Tanasca. But there's four different owners into those acres, and then Tanasca purchased, I believe, 40 some acres and then 50 some acres, close to
So these
100 acres.
so these owners are
Those owners are, there's four different ownerships, and one of them is Sanchez, it states Sanchez, and the other one is Galansky, and then the other one is someone from Houston, and then there's another one that's from East Texas as well. But it's recorded as multiple ownership, and they're all between where PUB's at, where they have established themselves for future infrastructure services
okay.
that are
So
near to those.
so at least Galansky right now uh, is one of those owners who sold the property to Nazca.
No, they are behind Tanasca. They're right linked onto the Tanasca property. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blow up and see how we can post it. And then I'm going to indicate so everybody knows exactly the tracks, and it'll show there. And what I can show to you is that it's recorded under the Cameron County Appraisal District. I'm not making these things up. That's how the land is being, you know, billed for property taxes. But everywhere where you see the PUB, it's Tanasca because it's PUB land, and then Tanasca land was purchased in 2014. Now, before they purchased it, there was two prior owners. It was can't remember the name of the family, and then it went to El Valle Properties, and whoever owned El Valle properties, because it's recorded under LLCs. Remember, we need to do the research as to who are the owners of these LLCs before
Right.
they purchase this land. And that's how we'll be able to connect and say, okay, so this person, before Tanasca purchased, they went to these prior owners and said, I'll offer you this much and I would like to have your land. Well, because those owners under the LLC knew what was coming up. And so what they do is they turn around and they offer to whoever's the one in charge, the CEO or whoever is to be able to make the decisions for Tanasca, which was CEO, right? PUB, right?
Right.
Because they're the ones that had the the authority before that purchased prior. So there
Well,
was two ownerships before Tanasca came into the ownership. The original owner, and then El Valle, who purchased from um, the prior owner to sell to Tanasca.
well, it's going to be interesting. Again, and this is one of the reasons why I'm so glad that Gati is helping us out and coming on in the mornings, because let me tell you, whenever I have a real estate question or anything to dealing with, property and stuff, I have absolutely no clue. So you have to go to the experts. You have to go to the individuals that tienen callo, and I think got callo in anything that has to real estate. This is an amazing find, and but it goes back to the same thing, Kathy. It's always that little group of people. It's always the same names: the Golanskis, the Limas, the Martinez, all these individuals that are, and it's the same thing happens with PUB. It's the same people that, and it's the same people that want to come back and supposedly serve the citizens of Brownsville in regard to these elected positions, the Lucios. Every incumbent needs to be voted out. Every single one.
And
They all.
it's funny because you get investors that come in and they say, "Wow, so we have no opportunities to even invest because it's within your own city leadership that already owns the majority of the town, so why? And it's because that's how they're looking into making in their investment and their money. I mean, you have that land that's right there, 1,300 acres, 1,300 acres across Rancho Viejo, right next to South Texas ISD, which is where they wanted to build the arena. Who are the owners? Sanchez, a law firm. And of course there's other owners with him, right? And then he brings in development with some builders that are already tight with them, and they're the ones that are going to have the opportunity to build homes for you guys, for whoever wants to buy in the future. And at the same time, the arena would have also given the opportunity for those developers to tap into the infrastructure, the water, the sewer that it would have cost us taxpayers.
It's crazy, but that's how it's done. And again,
That's how they
the
function.
it's this Dennis Sanchez, right?
Dennis
Or
Sanchez. Dennis
yeah, it's the
Sanchez
same
is
one
the attorney.
that's the
Mhm.
partner with Trey Mendez. And again, we've shown the LLCs where they're business partners, and again, it's always the same thing over and over and over again. It's the same names, same, and it's never going to stop until individuals decide that they're tired of it, they've had enough, and they're going to go out there and vote these people out. Oh, I just
You
have to.
know what, Asma?
Yeah, go.
Yeah. Why does the Texas governor have to wait until reelection to lower property taxes? He can do it right now. Okay. Mr. Hernandez, I'm going to tell you that I was in Colorado. An election is going full force in every state, every city you can go through. And you know that they're having the same issue in the state of Colorado, but they're asking for, I believe it's a proposition, and I believe it's the 123, and it's for their governor, whoever gets elected. The citizens would be voting that those taxes are not increased, that property rental is not increased. Everybody's struggling to the same thing, and everybody's going through the process of until election time. And now let's hope that Governor Abbott gets reelected. I'm going to tell you, he has our state very, very stable financially. He's a very smart man, regardless of how people feel about him because of Uvalde, because I know that he got a lot of slack with Uvalde. But I'm going to tell you, I was board president when the shooting happened in Cummings Middle School, and I was devastated. And I'm sure that he was devastated too. But at the end of the day, remember who was running the show in the police department. Your chief of police is the commander in charge. He is the one that made the bad call, and he's the one that didn't have the men that had the courage or were not tenacious enough to do what the Border Patrol agent did. Because we all take an oath as we swear to serve and protect. And those police officers did take an oath and they swore to serve and protect, and they didn't do their job. They didn't do their job in Uvalde. They didn't, regardless whether it was the school district law enforcement or the city police. The governor was somewhere out there. When the shooting happened at Cummings, believe me, I was heartbroken because I'm a mother. I know the feeling. And I asked all the questions. I was not there at the site to see, but I'm going to tell you that I wanted something done, and I wanted for an investigation to take place, because if it was not one of our BISD police officers that took the life away from that student from middle school in Cummings, it bothered me. It ended up being the city police officer that took the child's life away. It was not our BISD campus police. But even at that, as a board president, I wanted answers. And I'm sure that the governor he was in the middle of something, and we can't be everywhere, guys. That's why you have all these other um, leaders or representatives in every department and every entity to make sure that they make the right decisions. But I know he got a lot of slack because of Uvalde. I know. And Beto O'Rourke took the opportunity.
Opportunist. Uh, is the Tenasca Brownsville LLC? Uh, yeah, that's Tenasca Brownsville LLC, right? I did see that, Kathy, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does,
Yep.
does it show what law firm was involved in the transactions? You
No,
know,
but we need to check because usually they have to take their documents to their attorney. Because I've had LLCs that buy land for investment and they say, can we run this by our attorney? And I do protect my investor with a certain period of time. It's called a feasibility period or option period. And that is so we can protect our buyers, our investors, and make sure that their attorneys have enough time to review, remove, or add whatever is needed in their agreement as they're going into the process of the purchase of the land. So I would need to do some research. And actually, you only see that on the contract, or the title company is the one that sees all that. So we would need to even check and see who was the title company that did the closing, because you have a title company and the title company, or sometimes they even do closings just with the attorneys because they don't want, they want for it to be so discreet. They don't want for anybody to know anything. I know I always use title companies and I've used attorneys, but at the end of the day, we do the closings at title companies.
could that be inside trading? Uh,
Mm,
with Golonsky, I mean, she's again, Golonsky's been direct involved with not only the PUB board but also now the city commission. Now, take into consideration something that we already know that Trey Mendes has done in regards to that Coca-Cola building property. We know that for a fact that a lot of the politicos here, this Eddie Trevino is out there selling his property, buying property. I mean, they have beforehand knowledge in regards to all these deals going on. And again, there should be that ethical line in regards to, you're not going to buy property that you plan to sell back to the commission, sell back to, yeah, I don't know, maybe one of those MIDI foundation or districts or whatever the hell they're called. I'm not sure which one. Maybe, and but one of the things that we've gotten from Trey Mendes is, well, it's not illegal. It's not illegal because you set up the guidelines, and that's what makes it matter.
they make sure they protect, they cover their tracks. They make sure, and at the end of the day, remember, it's the interpretation because that's how attorneys function. Oh no, it's the interpretation. Yeah, right. It's the difference between your interpretation and my interpretation, how I really see things, how you're trying to do it. They manipulate it. They're manipulating the system.
Were these properties owned before Tenasca came to Brownsville? I'm going to say absolutely not. But Kati will make a timeline.
Yeah, because they were owned. Tenasca purchased them in 2014. In
Yeah.
2014, that's when Tenasca came in and purchased the land on 511.
Do we know who owns Tenasca Brownsville LLC?
Well, Tenasca is a recorded company or corporation out of Oklahoma. That's who Tenasca is. Because
Well,
where you see the billing, of the for the property taxes, it shows Tenasca out of Oklahoma. And they have an address in Oklahoma.
let's figure it out. Who is Tali Golonsky? How is she related to Nerith Golonsky? I do
I
not
don't
know,
know. I've never heard of her name.
but we'll try and find out. Is it true the Port Brownsville director has a family member working at PUB Utility? Yeah, you're talking about Campirano, Mr.
Well,
Campirano,
Campirano used. Mm-hmm.
Eddie Campirano. I think the third or junior is the one that works at PUB. And there have been some concerns in regards to because again, guys, it's like the same thing with Julieta Garcia. Her son Oscar Garcia. I mean, a worthless piece of trash. The guy gets positions everywhere and anywhere he wants. Good morning. I think he was even on the PUB board. Are they from Oklahoma or Nebraska?
It says the recording. It says Tenasca and it says Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah, I appreciate. Kathy sent me information, but last night, and because I was caught in the rain. Let me tell you, the rain was came down pretty bad last night. And
Give me
I just want,
give me a second, and I'll be right back. Let me get my laptop.
well, and I wanted to actually leave.
Chavita son dos cheques que se los mandan
Te lo voy a dar, te lo voy a dar, porque no quiero después de que anden.
como mulero.
Sí, después que estén diciendo que no recibieron o. Son 300.
Ya.
Ten, ahí está. Ya está.
¿Y los míos?
¿Y qué?
Oye, ¿quién tiene la llave para...?
Esa U.
Ya, háblale, dile que voy para allá para que me la dé.
Okay. Kathy, anything other that we need to share? You're on mute. 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 You're on mute.
Oh, no, I guess I'll get all this information and I'll share
Good.
it with you, and then we'll bring it up so like that everybody can be better aware. And then I'll do a little map, kind of crop it, and so everybody can see what we're exactly talking about, where this site is at. And then who are
Perfect.
the owners, who were the prior owners. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, perfect. Because Papa just walked into the office and Papa Manda. Guys, have a great
There you
day.
go.
Social distance, face covering, hand sanitizer, still believing all that crap, guys. We'll be back tonight, and thank you, Kathy, for getting this information out. It's important, guys, and it's going to open a new window in regards to all the mess that this Tenasca thing is. And guys, please, if you're on YouTube, please like that page. Guys, see you tonight at 9 p.m. Guys, be good to each other. Continue to be good to each other. God
Bye.
bless. Bye, Kathy. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.